The City of Blades, an Underdark settlement of Faerun. Well, settlement is really kind of the wrong word. It's one of the largest fortified cities in the Underdark, and it is called by the locals as Gracklstugh. This is a Duergar or Grey Dwarf kingdom, and possibly the strongest and largest. The dwarves are constantly forging items of interest, and smoke perpetually hangs in the air. So let's examine Gracklstugh and the enormous red dragon that lives there. This video is sponsored by Roll for Combat for their Kickstarter, Battle Zoo Eldamon. Befriend, train, battle, and evolve various magical creatures with new subclasses and classes to make use of these powerful monsters. There are 3 books in this Kickstarter, including the Battle Zoo Bestiary Strange and Unusual, with over 150 new monsters for your party to battle, as well as monster parts for the new crafting system. The Kickstarter is live, so check it out today by clicking the link in the description, and thanks again, Roll for Combat. Hello everybody, Jordan here, the PH is silent, and Duergar, the dwarves that dug too deep.
The dwarves delved too greedily and too deep.
In a previous video on Underdark races, I spoke on the Duergar, which is a playable race in the current edition of Dungeons & Dragons, the psionic grey dwarves of the Underdark who became psionic through generations of manipulation by mind flayers, who were also living below the surface of Faerun. Now, the too long didn't read of the Duergar is that they were tricked into digging deeper and deeper, convinced of a vast vein of mithril, but all they found were illithids who enslaved their entire clan. Now, the Duergar have since broken free from their captors, but were forever changed. Their skin is gray from becoming primarily subsurface dwarves and decades, if not centuries, of psionic manipulation by the mind flayers. Now, this also left their minds protected from magical and psionic attacks. The Duergar knew only the Underdark. It was their home, so they made a great fortress in it. Gracklstugh is located 5 miles below the Evermoors, close to Silvery Moon, and 100 miles away from Menzoberranzan. Now, to get there, you'll need to find the right road, and the easiest is the major trade route that goes from Skullport through the Labyrinth, which is an ancient maze of tunnels in the Northdark, called the Northern Underdark, that leads to Gracklstugh. Now, Gracklstugh is located along the Dark Lake, which is a large underground lake full of deadly creatures. It is known as the City of Blades because of the quality of weapons coming out of the forges, but also their powerful army that protects the city. Magical defenses are weak in Gracklstugh, but they more than make up for it with steel. The stalagmites that rise up from the ground have been hollowed out and converted into great smelters. The entire city glows with firelight and remains at a constant hot temperature. The forges never quit. Now, all hours you'll hear the pounding of steel as the Duergar craft new weapons and armor for sale and trade. Now, a long time ago, the Duergar struck a bargain with a red dragon named Themberchad, who came to be known as the Wormsmith of Gracklstugh. Now, this dragon keeps the forges hot with his draconic flame, and in return, the Duergar tend to the dragon's needs, increase his hoard, and keep him well fed with prisoners and other captives. This has led to the dragon to be rather chunky in size for a dragon. I mean, he has a relatively passive lifestyle with limited mobility in the Underdark. It checks out. And actually, Themberchad is a part of a line of red dragons that have been known as the Wormsmith of Gracklstugh. See, he's just the most recent red dragon to adopt the title. Of course, recent, I mean in the last 400 plus years, because dragons, they live a long time. And as of now, even if Themberchad would want to leave, he's really too big to get through the known exits in the Underdark. So he's treated with fear and respect, but in reality, he's kind of a prisoner to Gracklstugh and the Duergar. Gracklstugh was founded in negative 3,717 DR and was considered a really great spot because of access to the Dark Lake. The king of Gracklstugh conquered the outlying Duergar clans in the Northdark and created the first Deep Kingdom. Now, this Deep Kingdom survived for over 4 millennia until the death of King Tarngart, who was assassinated by his grandson Horgar Steel Shadow V. The Deep Kingdom hasn't technically fallen because of this, but as of 1372 DR, Horgar is now Deep King, and there has been some instability within the Duergar kingdoms. Surprise, he's not the best king, mainly due to assassinations and what have you. I mean, lots of secrecy and mysterious assassinations wouldn't put you on my list of top 10 trustworthy fellows. As of 1490 DR, King Horgar remains in power, and you can find him in various 5th edition adventures. Plenty of Duergar and Gracklstugh history can be found in the War of the Spider Queen novels, which I very much recommend. Faron Mizirum, who is a drow wizard, was my favorite character from those books. It's a fun series detailing the chaos in the Underdark during the Silence of Lolth, where Lolth seemingly abandoned her followers for a time, allowing the Duergar to take advantage and assault certain drow kingdoms. Now, Gracklstugh marks a large pit stop in the adventure Out of the Abyss, where you can meet the Wormsmith Themberchad and perhaps live to tell the tale. The population is quite large for an underground city and has a moderate amount of Darrow that also live there as well. It's not just Duergar. Now, the population includes the smaller settlements that are part of Gracklstugh that live just outside the city walls proper. It was really fun reading about this because all of the 2nd edition material and then going up through 5th edition, you could see the history and timeline of Gracklstugh. In the 2E Dritz Jordan's Guide to the Underdark, Themberchad is just a young dragon, just starting his position as Wormsmith. The Duergar king's young grandson, Horgar, has only started his thoughts of taking over the throne, and the Darrow were enslaved by the Duergar early on, until they were made official citizens of Gracklstugh through royal decree. There were many wars fought against the city for Darrow freedom. And this all comes back to 5th edition, where we have Out of the Abyss and Rime of the Frost Maiden that have more Darrow-like stories in it. Thank you for watching, everyone, and thank you, Roll for Combat, for sponsoring this video. Click on the link in the description. There are links to all of the books that I referenced for this video, and if you'd like to know more about the Underdark, both the 2E Guide to the Underdark and the 3E Underdark book are really great. And if you'd like to help the channel grow, consider becoming a patron, where you can chat with me, get access to a small number of things that I like to write, and listen to podcasts of my D&D games. I'll be back with more videos, and I'll see you all in the next one.